and NFTs. Benedict, you have an important task right now to get us involved into your world. So we are looking forward. Could you please update the timer here?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming through and just being passionate about digital art and about changing the world. I'm sure we all have that in our hearts. My name is Benedict Hadley. I am a Brooklyn born and bred filmmaker. Grew up across the river in Brooklyn, like I mentioned, and went to high school a few blocks away on 57th and 2nd. So this is a very important day for me because I grew up in this space in the Javits Center. And so to be here right now presenting is important. So redefining broadcasting for an equitable future. And what does that mean to me in particular? Let's talk about storytelling. So it's June 19th, 1987. I'm 7 years old. I'm in Flatbush, Brooklyn. And Tim Burton's Batman drops in the movie theaters. And it's a frenzy. The marketing is powerful. It galvanizes the community like I've never seen before. And at the same time that I noticed that my community was galvanized by this piece of art, and mind you, this is the 80s in Brooklyn, so everything was a bit rough around the edges, I noticed at the same time that this movie was coming out that there was this huge billboard above the movie theater, 30 by 50, that we didn't have control over. I believe it was like constant Nike ads being advertised, and I was able to attach those images with the same images of young kids walking through my classroom with no sneakers on because there was some sort of outside force urging us to own things that we couldn't afford. So it's been in my heart since I was a young child to get control back over the narrative of our communities, right? And so unbeknownst to me, I'm a very spiritual person, and God, the creator, just led me along this path of creating work from age 12 to present for everyone from Jay-Z to Francis Ford Coppola, Cannes Film Festival, all around the world, just by being an independent and following my passion. So I feel that storytelling is one of our oldest and most powerful forms of technology. And it's going to be extremely important to address the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We all have habits that are so wasteful, right? But since we're in the digital atmosphere, let's talk about the digital waste that we create, right? Because a click has a processing power of what? Let's say it's on a server farm someplace, right? There's something going on there that we need to consider, right? And I'm sure that the way that we treat one another is directly in relation to the amount of waste that we create, right? We all look pretty good in here. Who made our clothes? Who made our accessories? Who made these badges? Why aren't they made locally? Why aren't the stories told locally? Because whoever made my jacket and my shoes, he or she has a story. And those stories are important, especially to me. I think that technology of storytelling is extremely important to educate the public, right? And I don't mean in a heavy-handed, preachy way. I mean in a dynamic, groundbreaking, digital NFT equity providing way, right? But we can talk about it or we can do it, and I did it, right? So this is me. God tells me, 2012, move to Newark, New Jersey. I'm like, no, right? Nobody wants to do that, right? If anybody's from Newark, I'm sorry. Right, so my wife, my beautiful wife over there, Queen, we moved to Newark in 2015. It took me a few years to, get up and do what I had to do. Get there, and I see that the neighborhood is littered with blight and poverty, right? And I'm a polymath. I use all my creative abilities, right, to change my atmosphere, right, to uplift, right? A lot of people don't know how to do that, right? They go to the decorator, they go to the interior decorator, they hire somebody to do that. But these are skills that we need to have, especially the younger generation, right? We need to be able to say, you know what, this is off in this room. I need to move these chairs that way. My spirit feels a little bit better. I feel a little bit grounded. These are important so that way, we can feel healthy, right? And the media that we create needs to be about this, right? Because again, going back to digital waste, there's so much media out there that I would like to say leeches, not teaches, okay? And we're giving, so much time to it that we need to focus on something a little bit different, right? So one of the things that we did when we moved to Newark was I'm going back to this, right? This was next to our home. And this is me. This is about 5,000 square feet of space. The front of an industrial building that was caved in and left that way for over a decade, right? You can go and Google satellite images and turn back time and see this, right? And I know how to control my space with my children, right? I know how to uplift their spirit, right? But what happened to the people that didn't know how to do that, right? They were being damaged, and it was unfair because I can clearly see institutional racism, structural just blight, right? This is the cause of a person. This is the cause of an institution, right? But we can make art about it. We can make NFTs about it. And so what I did was I reclaimed it. I painted these. I did performance art. What is it like for this young community member to go into this space and shoot with these large cameras and create this image? And what we did was we took these bricks, right, that have been laying there for over a decade, and we turned them into NFTs. We scanned them, and each one of them is attached to a family, an organization, a mission in the city. And you can buy these they're available on wise.art, my partners in Geneva. Right? So I was receiving this information from our creator about creating this work in Newark, right? Starting social programs with the youth over there, training the youth in cinematography, because I wanted to give them equity. Before NFTs were even around, I knew that they needed equity. They needed something in their pocket as they graduated high school or as they got their GED, as they graduated university, to say, well, you know what? I got something in my pocket that I can spend, right? That's important. How many of us grew up with something that our parents gave us, right? An inheritance of some way, shape, or form. A lot of kids in these underserved communities and people in general don't have that. This is an opportunity with NFTs, right? So what we did was we scanned our apartment. We painted the whole entire thing. These messages that I was receiving, right? We uplifted the space. We told a story about it cinematically, right? Like I said, we trained these kids. We taught them about equity and education. And we worked together to make a movie called Trap Cakes, right? So for all of you who don't know, the trap is the same like the ghetto. The trap is like the hood, right? But what's the sweet thing when we're in the hard place? We all are human beings. We all have spirits. We all have blood running through our veins. We all work the same. What's the sweet spot? What's the thing that got you up this morning? I'm sure if you're speaking, you all had doubts, but that sweet spot is the trap cake. So this young kid, Khalif Harrington, he was the star of it. He urged me to make it, knocking on my door, Mr. Benedict, when are we going to make the movie? When are we going to make the movie? When are we going to make the movie? The sweetest kid, right? We made the movie Trap Cakes. He starts a cupcake company in the movie. It was really an incredible, hard experience, right? Because again, these kids had criminal records, right? So it was an issue. But we fought through it and we made the movie, right? Let's talk about the power of NFTs as I wrap up, right? And the origin stories, right? I don't know if anybody owns an ape or a punk in here, but God bless you. But this is real life right here, right? This is real life, real people. So on October 13th, Khalif was leaving school. He was shot dead, okay? So he martyred himself for this issue, right, that is created by man, by woman, whoever, that just don't get that there are stories in these underserved communities all around the world, and the true sustainability is to be able to connect with these individuals, right, and to tell their stories. And so Khalif lives on, winning the award at Davos this January, right? And being on the NASDAQ board, and being in the Khalif Harrington Metaverse Gallery on Spatial. And we continue to tell this story. in our film Supreme Messages from an Unknown Source that covers the decade-long journey of us moving to Newark, creating this work, and laying the foundation for the films that we're creating, the 17 films that are part of our roster that address the sustainable development issues. Supreme Messages has over 60,000 NFTs that were created as memorabilia as part of the film. And attached to each purchase is educational programs, social programs, for not just youth, but for adults, for whoever needs it, right? And so I look forward to everyone speaking, and just being a part of the mission to make this world a better place through sustainable storytelling. And it's such an honor to be here and to speak with everyone. And God bless y'all. Peace.